Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I did not expect to wake up to a little bit of controversy, maybe a little bit of drama. Certainly an inbox of people saying, Prof, have you seen this? Stop what you're doing. Go to Twitter. Take a look at this. I want to encourage everybody to take a deep breath because this is not exactly news. This is just a different way to view the same thing. Every time we get some black ISO market currency, which I may be wrong about this, but I think we determined on my channel that we get 12 of these a week. Well, every week, every time you get 12, you're building toward a number. And I think a lot of people's cases right now, 260, which shout out to my man Kick Rocks, who has so many of these saved up because he's been light years ahead in the hoarding strategy, that he would be in the perfect position to have not one but two of these as soon as it resets in 9 days from the time of recording this. So you kind of have to look at this as every week that you're loyal to the Black ISO store, it's going to be loyal to you, but it's going to take weeks or months, maybe, hopefully not, sometimes years, to build up to whatever the goal is for this currency. Now, obviously, there's not just this as the advantage to the Black ISO store. Obviously, the number one advantage, I think, which is not even debatable, it's not some kind of like clickbait opinion, it's just a fact, is inventory cap increases. I think that is what sold me and what sold Mama Bear and so many others on why it's worth the $10 a month. And I really do hope the Black ISO market doesn't increase the price, because Kabam did say years ago when this was introduced that this is going to be a introductory price, which is kind of what Taco Bell says in the States when they want to introduce something new into your veins for like $1. And then you drive up one day and you say, hey, I'll get that dollar burrito. And they're like, actually, it's now $3. And you're like, but it was $1 last week. Yeah, well, this isn't the same world today as it was last week, and you're now paying a lot more. But I say this to say that the tweet, I think, was just a different way to say what I just said psychologically. Because the MCOC player, or at MCOC player, or at MCOC underscore, player 920 said that the loyalty tier rewards increase with each month of your subscription. The rewards change and improve with new loyalty tiers that you unlock. So I think that's a different way to say what's already been done. Now, obviously, the difference is the store in this scenario would physically change. But let's say that something took 60 Black ISO store currency to purchase, and you got 12, and you decided after 1 month of paying for it, and if you get 12 a week, then you get 48 a month, that you're not going to renew it. Well, then you're not going to be able to buy that 60 currency price anyway, because you don't have enough. So it may be the same reward in the current store, but you're locked out of it, so it's the same concept. I do think this is going to be a fancy way of potentially saying the following, and that is, if we want you to take this 6-star Black ISO store Scarlet Witch and have a chance to desire the 7-star, we're going to need you to, quite frankly, invest more of your currency and more of your money into waiting. But the interesting thing about this specific scenario is when I asked my subscribers, hey, would you spend your currency even if it was the same price? So in this case, we're going to go with the retail price, the new retail price of 260 Black ISO store currency. Would you buy a 7-star crystal or a guaranteed 7-star Scarlet Witch? And over 60% of voters, and I know polls are polls, but over 60% of voters said the 7-star crystal over the 7-star Scarlet Witch. This is one of those things that I don't want people to overreact to, because I think sometimes that's a temptation in anything in life, but especially on the internet. This is just a different way of doing business. I think it would be a bigger overreaction. A bigger reason to react that's not an overreaction is probably the best way I can put it. If the price went up to even $15 a month. Because then you're looking at an extra $60 a year minimum. And of course, I'm also the voice to several players that don't live in the United States. And so what's $5 to me is really like $10 to you or $8 to you in Canada or Australia or India, you name it. So I am very conscientious of that. But at the same time, what we all know may be about to change. And this is another sign that I think Kabam has higher operating costs than ever before and is combining that with lower revenue than they're used to. So when your costs go up and your revenue goes down, you have to come up with new ways to generate money and to get your player base excited to give. I still think the best way to get people to give their wallets would have been a better system for Ascension, where you are motivated to have all of your 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars at max sig and max rank to ascend your 6-star. And maybe you still need that tier 2 primordial dust, but you can't activate it until that champion is max rank and max sig from 3, 4, and 5. And look, I know it's way more exciting to do it this way, and so I get why there are people out there who are like, Prof, it's a terrible idea because it's too much work. But what it does to the economy of the game is it suddenly makes 3-star 6 stones and awakening gems, 4-star and 5-star as valuable as they've ever been. Because let's say the new champion, let's say Nimgod came out, or the version of Nimgod that is here. Or let's just go for the biggest whale of them all, Hercules. Let's say 6-star Hercules came out, and you know that you had been saving up for the perfect champion to ascend. And you've got all the tier 2 primordial dust that you need to ascend them, but now you need a 3-star, 4-star, and a 5-star at max rank and max sig. Suddenly, you're hunting for tier 4 basic like never before. You're hunting for tier 4 class catalyst. You're hunting for 3 and 4 and 5-star 6 stones. And you're going to use those awakening gems that have just been sitting in your inventory collecting dust for years. So suddenly everything in the game gets a glow up in terms of the value of it, and that motivates players, especially if there's a champion like Hercules, which I get there's only been one of, and Kabam doesn't want to have a 7-star ever because they feel like they overcorrected and made him too good. But just in this analogy, know that we are in a position to do something that has never been done before, and that is to refresh the economy that has been stale for years. But they chose not to do that, and instead they're going to refresh the economy maybe through the Black ISO market, which I think my idea would have been better, and maybe the coding would have made it impossible. I don't know anything about coding, so I don't want to pretend like I can just speak something into existence and it's easy to do, because it probably isn't. But at the same time, I just feel like the strategy is not going to work as well as they thought, and that's if they keep the price at $10 a month. So, everything about the Black ISO store may be about to change. Stay tuned. Thank you, MCOC Player, for posting this. He said this was in the game files that he data mined, which, of course, Kabam is also trying to make illegal, but it seems like this guy is trying to call their bluff. So, stay tuned.